Welcome to the Recruiter Startup Podcast. I'm joined by the two Tims from Infraview today, Tim Cazemage and Tim Davey. How are you today, lads?
Really good. Yeah, super cool. Busy, like the rest of the world right now. How are you?
Yeah, wonderful. Purpose of the interview, Kaz and Tim, right?
Yeah. Makes things a bit easier.
All right, great. I'm good. Just out of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Felt like a real privilege to be able to go do that during the day. I remember 10 years ago pulling pints, or 12, 15 years ago pulling pints, and thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a job someday or a business someday that I could go do stuff that I wanted during the day. So, but here we are, back to the grindstone. The market's good. You boys are killing it. Before we kind of go into where you're at, how'd you guys meet?
Go on. I'll let you do that, Davey.
Many years ago, my ex-girlfriend in 2000 was best mates with Tim C's ex-girlfriend. So we used to knock around 21 years ago. That was kind of how we met in our semi-misspent youth in the early 2000s.
Do you reckon the ex-girlfriends are still mates?
I don't know if they are, actually.
I wish we could interview them right now.
Yeah,
oh God, I don't.
No, recruitment glory days. What year are we talking?
Glory days of recruitment. God, neither of us were in recruitment at that time, but recruitment glory days. I think everyone's glory days were their first 5 years, where they go from doing nothing to making it happen. So, glory days, if they're not right now, which is seemingly quite glorious for me, was 2004 to 2009, back in my first job in recruitment at Madison Black.
And is that where you guys met?
No. So we met before then. So we met outside of recruitment through the ex-girlfriends in 2000, and then got back together when I left Madison Black and was building Stott and May, and needed to build a team. Noticed that Tim works in recruitment. We obviously knew each other from years ago. He changed his LinkedIn looking like someone that was going to be looking to, start going out to market, and I reached in at just the right time, did some recruitment on him, and the rest is history.
So talk to me about, so you guys get to know each other, you work with each other for a period of time. Well, what was the day that you decided, you know what, we can do this ourselves? What led to that?
God, I could jump in there. I think both Tim and I always wanted to do it ourselves. When Tim hired me at Stott and May, we kind of sort of ran and built a practice over a sort of 5-6 year period. Our backgrounds have always been going into a standing start. We've never been given a client to leverage off. We've never been given, staff. So we've had to build clients, build candidates, build markets, and then hire teams around us. So we've always done that from a standing start in each business that we've gone to. So we kind of hit the point at our last business. For me, it was about sort of 3 years in out of the sort of 5.5, 6 years where it was like, look, we can do this ourselves, but we're on a slightly good thing in our last company. We got sort of sold the dream of stay here for 5 years, you're going to make millions and your whole life's going to change. Now, that didn't look like it was going to happen in that time frame. They still haven't sold to date. So, irrelevant of that, me and Tim just wanted to kind of do it ourselves. We talked about it like sort of most recruitment consultants do. But instead of doing it on a negative day, I hear a lot of recruitment consultants, they're in the pub or they've had a bit of a shit day, or, everything's fallen out its arse. They've had loads of dropouts and they're like, oh, I can't be bothered to now work for anyone else. I want to do it myself. We want to do it ourselves because we were having a good time, and we decided to say, look, let's make this happen. But we never put anything in stone. It was kind of like, look, when the time's right, we'll do it. We built a market up over the years whereby we were just sort of known in that sort of cloud and infrastructure space. So it just makes sense. It was just a matter of time, to push that button and do it. I think Tim left first, and legally we couldn't work together. When we both left our last business. So it was kind of like, all about timing for us.
Yeah. So you're doing secret meetings, were you?
Nah. Well, for the purpose of this video, no. No, it was look. Tim left first.
There weren't really many secret meetings.
Stephen starts listening here, calling his lawyer.
No, I mean, I just think everyone down the pub chats, and I mean, I left first, and for 6 months, Tim may or may not have joined. Being honest, through that period, and we got together after the 6 months, and decided, let's put a tiny bit of money in, let's make it happen, let's see where we get to, and sort of give it 6 months to see what develops. And we knew we could work together, but at Stock Mate we've been against each other. We've been running a team together, but from a billings leaderboard perspective, I was trying to beat him, he was trying to beat me, so there's a very different dynamic. One year it was him, next year it was me, and we had a very thriving kind of but healthy competition. So coming together, pulling in very much exactly the same direction, we had to make sure that works. I mean, thankfully it does, and it still will. And
you brought with you both of you like a unique set of skills, because the IT infrastructure market was moving from the traditional server space into the cloud space, and you guys just caught it at the right time, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the reason why we caught it at the right time is because we worked with all the businesses that were transitioning their customers from, if you like, traditional on-prem to the cloud. So, that's one of our unique selling points, and when we do speak to new customers and when they're looking to go on that journey or take their clients on that cloud journey, we've lived and breathed it with our customers. We've gone, do we know how to install and implement this technology? No, but do we understand the technology from a candidate and client perspective, from a solution perspective? Absolutely. And it's been great. And that's why, God, one of our values, without getting too cheesy, is love our niche. We absolutely do live and breathe this technology from a recruitment perspective, because, for us, we've had to, and the more information and the more we're involved with our customers on that journey, the better we become as consultants, because we can actually pass that knowledge on to candidates and new clients. So, it's cool. It's good. I mean, we say caught it at the right time. We were going through it with our customers. Yeah, we were helping and assisting them. And I don't say that lightly. We will often have these types of conversation with clients that we've worked with for 10, 15 years. As they've taken their customers on that journey, they've used us to help them do that and enhance their capability to get the right people on board to be able to offer that solution to their their existing or new clients. So yeah, we've been right in the heart of it, from that transition from on-prem to the cloud. And
where you're at now as a business, you obviously have a platform of clients, a very clean, specific database. You've earned your stripes as it is, and you're what I would call a scalable boutique about to take off. What does the next period of time look for you? Like, what does that roadmap look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're doing 2-year sprints as opposed to 5-year plans. I think everyone had a 5-year plan going into COVID. So that got ripped up and thrown out the window. I mean, we were relatively unscathed by COVID. I mean, of course, there was the first sort of 2 months when everyone was like bury your head in the sand. My God, what's happening? But I mean, our space, our target market, the IT solutions provider arena and cloud-based businesses underpins everything that COVID accelerated. So our world has been, digital transformation has accelerated as a result of COVID. But so we're doing 2-year sprints anyway. So the end of the 2-year sprint will take us to filling this office. We moved into this at the start of last year. We'll hopefully move out by the end of next year. So the short-term 2-year sprint is to build that scalable underpinning structures to allow us to, as you say, move from boutique to scalable business, which we've done. We've put into place. But yeah, now we're hiring to double in size in the next 18 months and not renew the lease here and push on from there. But that then depends on who we hire. I mean, we can't. There's only so much we can do as the Tim and Tim show. So building.
If only there was a good record there.
Yeah.
He's not on this call, as I've told you. So tell me a little bit about, like, what does the job of a recruiter who comes work for you look like now compared to when you guys were starting back when?
Yeah, very different.
Do you know what? It's such a good question, and I was actually sitting in the pub yesterday. We had our film crew down actually for the last couple of days, putting some new content together internally, externally for our videos and website and stuff like that. And we're having that exact discussion. for me, completely different. You know, God, you know, if I was going to recruitment now with my personality and character and how I want things to happen, like now, I'd struggle. If I'm totally honest, right? Back when I first started out, you know, I had a big mouth. I didn't shut up. You know, I'd speak at 100 miles per hour, and people just went, "You're hired, and you're doing contract," right? That's how it was, you know. And people sort of kind of every time they met me, they're like, "Oh, you'll be a great contract recruiter." But I just need to come in every single day and almost have a. I had to have a box of, you know, a box of numbers, you know, phone numbers. It's not like that today. It's so much more strategic. You know, you have to be process driven, system driven, live and breathe that CRM. And, you know, if you've got to be consistent, you know, in everything you do, you know, around your process to recruit, but how you retain candidates and clients. Yeah, like I say, when I first started, it was like, yeah, give me 101 numbers. I'll just keep calling them. And it was kind of, I probably got more no's than yeses, but because I made so many calls on a daily basis, it sort of evened it out that I was always getting business on. But now you haven't got the numbers. You know, it's all about touch points, all about strategically mapping, going out there, you know, scrolling through different means of technology and using all the advancements that we've got now to entice and get people to that human point where we can physically, you know, and verbally have a discussion and talk about, you know, what we specialize in and what we can do. But yeah,
that's really interesting.
The biggest change internally, though. I mean, I think that you know, how has the role at Infraview changed? Was that the kind of question about how?
No, just theoretically. I think it's just really interesting that Tim is taking it from his perspective. That, like, he obviously had to recognize that, like, to get him 10 years ago would have been the golden goose, but to have him right now, would that work? So is it that the numbers aren't there, or people don't answer the phone, or they're not responsive to phones, or like what is the key bit that you think things have changed?
I think it's a mindset. You know, I think the old school way of just, you know, hiring, you know, 10 people at one go, and, you know, if 2 work out, great, get rid of the other 8. You know, what I know a lot of larger, sort of slightly more aggressive companies will do, and they're reliant on people just it's numbers and it's KPIs, and it's like you can't go to lunch until you've sent out X amount of CVs. So the quality is not there. You know, and I just don't think that's not how, you know, recruitment is today. You know, you got to be more structured, more, you know, more process driven. You know, you got to be more laser focused. You know, you got to work a tight niche market. You got to build and nurture and grow that. You know, but yeah, I mean, it's.
How do you guys?
I think the market's just got a lot more mature. I mean, you know, back in the early days of S3, it was numbers games. It was firing stuff out there, you know, flinging mud at the wall, hoping it sticks. But now things have got a lot more quality focused. You know, the buyers are a lot more mature. The way that you have to add value has changed. So yeah, you just have to come at it from different angles and be adding value all the way.
And who manages the recruiters internally? Is that both of you or one of you, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it's me. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So you've really had to, like, almost go against yourself to evolve.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily going against myself, because I think, you know, the fundamentals of recruitment hasn't changed. It's how we actually go about recruiting has, right? You know, and embracing change, utilizing, you know, different ways, not being afraid to try new things, and you know, work for a business that is prepared to, you know, show you the new way, but still stick to the basics. You know, I'm a back to basics kind of guy. If there's a phone number, absolutely call it, right? I mean, it's, you know, if there's a number there, that's always going to be your first point of call, right? But, you know, how you go about getting that number is very, very different. And, you know, I think, you know, for me and the staff, and, you know, when we recruit and bring people on board, you know, we tell them how it is. You know, we don't bullshit, you know.
Sorry, Tim, I think you just got cut off a little bit. Can you hear me?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
You can hear me, yeah. So Tim will be back shortly.
Tim will be back shortly.
Because he does the sales management, I look after tech and ops. So yeah, that's probably my failure.
So it's really interesting that the world of recruitment has changed. It's more qualitative based, but we still have to be quantitative in how we measure stuff as well. So before we actually go into the management piece, when you're choosing somebody to come and work for you, he mentioned, like, you know, he thinks that loudmouth guy that doesn't listen and speaks more than listening would struggle today. Is that some of the stuff that you look for when you take in trainees? Like, what do you have a person in mind, or a traits in mind that you look for, and how does that look to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's all the cheesy recruitment buzzwords, isn't
Sure.
there? That you just trot out, resilient, driven, motivated, hungry, passionate, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can't get away from the fact that you still need that. You still need to have that inner built desire to push through and have that resilience to succeed. If you don't have that, then the rest of it doesn't really count. But then it just moves on to personality and character and culture fit for the organisation. So do they fit with the culture of your business, and will they live the values of your organisation moving forwards? I was never someone that put a lot of stock into company values until we decided to do ours. And even when I was doing them, I was like, I'm not sure why we're doing this. I was a bit sort of value smallies, but now that we've done them, we do very much live by them. So whether it's, telling it how it is, positively disruptive, one team, making it happen, all that kind of stuff, we very much do live by those values.
I was exactly the same.
I've
and I think I actually need to go do it again.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting exercise. Anybody who doesn't have it done should go do it, because it will shape who you fit into your organization and who can be excluded by it. And so whenever you're interviewing I'm going to use the word graduate, but let's use the word like trainee.
Yeah.
When you're looking at those things that you said, like what type of questions are you asking to elicit the response that you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, then it just becomes more consultative and conversational to just eke out what they like as an individual. So when I prepare my candidates for interviews, I'm always going on about good eggs. So are you a good egg? Is your heart in the right place? Are you going to add value to people around you? Are your motivations rooted in the right place? Because or are you a house built on a stack of cards, or whatever that expression is? When you fall down at the first hurdle, have you got that deep rooted inbuilt desire to make it happen? Are you an inquisitive type of person? Are you consistent? Do you turn up every day and just consistently deliver? I mean, it's quite hard when you're asking a graduate that, but you're looking at their sporting success or how they've approached their degree, or I always go back to their first school and each juncture point of their life. So how have you made that decision? How do they make decisions? How do they get to where they get to? Have they made that happen, or has that just sort of happened to them? Have they fell into what's occurring, or have they made the concise decisions along the way to put them into the position that they're in? So for me, those are the things that separate people without recruitment experience from one another.
What do you do for your own personal development as a leader? He's back.
He's back on his handheld device. So for me, I mean, always remain teachable, always be learning. I mean, I'm on podcasts. I'm in a few, different networks of recruiters.
RecWired. We're only allowed to talk about RecWired on this.
With RecWired, exactly where I was going with that. There's loads of podcasts and things like this. So I listen to your podcast. There's a number of different things. But yeah, I mean, webinars and things like that. So for me, it's that. Need to probably move on to getting a specific mentor Ned type person, but always reaching out to the networks around me to learn from people who've been through it before. So other recruitment business owners in my network, we spend time with.
Let me get to the real question. How have you two guys worked for so long without almost killing each other?
Well, we nearly did it Stott and May when we were against each other. Some of the arguments that we had on the Stott and May sales floor were quite feisty. But now we're running the same business. We dovetail nicely. Tim's very outgoing and sales leader type person. I'm very much sort of ops and things like that. We're both great at sales and we're both passionate and live by our values. But yeah, I mean, we thankfully don't really fall out anymore. We used to lots back in the day, but yeah, at the moment it's quite harmonious.
Are you guys privately owned?
Owned by ourselves, yeah.
Have you ever thought of taking money to scale?
Contemplating it, yeah.
Why did you decide against it, or what was for anybody who's thinking about that? Because you guys like have a really successful business, really profitable business. You don't need to do that now, But
that's the thing now. So yeah, I mean, I think we're quite proud in terms of not wanting to, prove it for ourselves. I mean, the bottom line is we were both two top billers at Stott and May, and and in our previous businesses. So we for the first 2 years were just two lads in a room doing recruitment. That was the easy bit. I was in we were in a room smaller than this meeting room we're in now, and the door scraped the desk, and we just wanted to get cash rich quickly and slowly get the money in the bank to allow us to scale. So it's only really now that we're sort of building the business. There is a lot of cash in the bank now. So yeah, we don't really need to take.
It's a super exciting time for you, like, because you're getting your marketing fixed, you're scaling your team. I know you're putting loads of work into every element of the business. Charlotte's been up looking at your operations. There's like, it's almost like you're just, that engine's turned on and it's ready to go. Are you happy that you didn't take money and that you're not at 50 people now and you waited and did it your own way and like in your own time? Like, if you could go back, would you have scaled? Would you have taken that money, or are you happy with the way you've done it?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the best questions I've been asked for a very long time, actually. So trying to think on my feet of the answer. Would we have done it differently? Well, we only know one way. I mean, and that is doing it ourselves. Maybe if we exited Infraview and we did it again, I mean, I suppose we wouldn't need to take on any money at that point because we'd have exited the business. But if I went back and said, could we have taken money sooner and scaled quicker? I mean, that's a great question. Would I, Tim? What do you think?
So I wouldn't have done it differently in terms of taking money to scale quicker, but we have invested in things that we've invested in now sooner. Is probably the answer. For me, we held back on marketing and branding and investing in, cutting edge technology to enhance our internal capabilities for guys to, if you like, make more money quicker. Again, we talk about automation now. We talk about making everything repeatable. And Tim's been pushing and talking about that for many, many years, but we didn't press the button on it because, like Tim D just said there, we've only ever known what we've known, right? We know how to, recruit and build practices. First 2 years was getting to know each other from a founding point of view, right? Yeah. Two very strong personalities that, yes, worked on the same team in the last business, but were against each other. Yeah. We wanted to get cash rich quick. That was our objective. We achieved that. Then we wanted to build and get a foundation in place for us to scale, but with the right people that we knew. I think it's very easy, if I'm honest, if you've got a good sell, good client base, and you've worked in the market for as long as we have, it's for people to lend you money. Is the truth. There's people constantly throwing offers at us saying, we can give you this, we can give you that, you can invest. But, that's something that potentially we'd look at, probably in 12, 18 months down the line, if we needed to, and if we felt that it was business sense. But for us, we wanted to get a core foundation in place, people that we trust, that are, the foundations of our business. And I think that's what we've worked on over the last 18 months, getting people that, trust and like us, and want to be part of our journey and can clearly see that vision moving forward, right? I'm confident in our company. We've got a really tight, close-knit team that, genuinely care about the business and each other. I think that's far better than someone's going, where's £500,000 £1 go and hire another 40 people.
Well, yeah. Also, you would have bought yourself a job.
Well, exactly. No. But
look, I asked the question.
I think it's a pride thing. For me, it's a pride thing. I mean, no one can take it away from me. Everything that I've done in my career, and me and Tim have done with Infraview, we've done for ourselves. We haven't lent on anybody else, and no one can take that from us. We've gone in, guns out, ready to make it happen, and made it happen, and here we are. So I mean, that's one thing that no one can take anything away from us in terms of what we've done. So an ego and a pride thing potentially.
Yeah. So on our mastermind program, I'm coaching, let's say it's 50 aspiring entrepreneurs in their first year and a half, who are dreaming to be you in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you feel successful now?
Not yet. No.
Isn't it funny? It's never enough, right?
We're proud of what we've done. No. I mean, we're historically top billing, super successful recruitment consultants at heart. So there is no end point. I suppose if we're both sitting in a £5 million villa each in the Med and jumping on our boats and acting a bit like Conor McGregor or something, not in the personality and character way, because he's not covering himself glory at the moment, is he? But from a yachts and cash perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe then I think I'll have achieved something. But no, we feel like we're getting started right now. It feels like
exactly
was the precursor to what's going to happen in the next 5 years.
All right. How do any listeners who want to reach out to you, how can they get on the rocket ship?
Phone number, LinkedIn, all on the website. Have a look at infraview.co.uk. Have a look at us on LinkedIn.
Tim, you can sell it. Kaz, you can sell it better than that. Come on now. Don't let him go out on that whimper there.
Listen, look, I don't think it's about selling it. All the means of them going out and looking at our website, look at all our social media, look at what we do. But look, ignore all that. Just get in touch with us, have a chat, come and see us. Right now, like Tim said, we've only just scratched the surface in our market. It would be naive to think that we own and dominate that cloud and IT infrastructure space. We dominate the clients that we work with. We have long-standing relationships that have been built up over 5, 10, 15 years, okay? 85% of our business is exclusive. Yeah, we don't sit on portals. We're not just chucking CVs out left, right, and center. If you want to come in here and either enhance your current billing capability or have a path that can take you to a leader, build a practice, or head of, we are sitting here. You asked, do we feel successful? I feel successful to a point where I've got my business to be able to scale now with no ceiling. Yeah, fact. It's not about coming in there and just walking in a business that's already structured, already done. There's multiple team leaders and head ofs. We've got these positions that we need to fill. Yeah. We've got a small business that's ready to go absolutely mental, right? We're a decent client base, top tier clients. We, got 50 years of experience in this space across our company of 10 right now. Yeah. So, I know there's people out there right now scratching their head going, I'm sick and tired of sending the same CV to a portal and getting no feedback. Do you want to come in and have contact with line managers where if you find a CV, you get an interview and you get a deal where you'll be fully managed and developed throughout your career to as high as you want to go.
All right. That's why they pay him the big bucks. Thank you so much, guys. Great to get you on today. I'd love to get you speaking to our mastermind group at some stage. I think the journey that you've gone, I know it's hard for you guys to see your success because you're in the thick of it, but for the people who are earlier in the journey, it would be really good for them to be able to pick your brains a little bit on maybe some of the good things you've done, some of the mistakes that you've made, and what you would have done earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Happy to help and get involved in that. And yeah, but there's always 101 questions, aren't there, that we can always cover. We can never do it in one hit, but yeah, we'd love to get involved and we want to do what we can to give back to the market and the industry. And yeah, if that helps us grow and, help other people work in a really crazy, busy market, happy days.
All right. Great stuff, guys. Thanks so much.
Brilliant. Cheers, buddy.